Okay, well, I got ahead of myself. I haven't done videos in a while. So, here we are. First things first, take out the tail lights. They're all 8 millimeters. Unplug it, both sides. What I did, I took out these screws. So from under here, they sit right on this. So take that out. How did I take it out without moving the tire? I used a small screwdriver and I just propped it right here and spinned it out. Caught a cramp after a little while, but you know, it happens. Got that out. Next side out. Obviously I have my quick release little bumper clip things here. Just took my rubber band off and had a couple of clips here. So I believe that, no, there was none here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 clips. Take a screwdriver, pop them out, pull them out. What else? And at the bottom of the vehicle, right here on the bumper, there's 2 clips on the bottom part. You pull those 2 off. Then you just shimmy the bumper, you know, forward off of these clips. So it pushes out of there, this next side, and the whole thing will drop down. I didn't remove I can't pull it away because I have my LED strip on the back here, and I don't have like a quick connect or a quick disconnect on it, so I just left it hanging. If you don't have something like, you know, rubber, plastic, or whatever on the floor, it's a possibility you could scratch your bumper, so watch out for that. What I'm going to do now, what I believe is, I've never seen a video online that tells you exactly step by step how to do this. For this modification, I am putting the rear fog light on. Look at the length of this thing. It's pretty big. Has this part too that goes, you know, over it. But say the bumper is here. From the top view, look at that. Even if I put it over here, what you could do is, you know, cut this whole thing out. So from here, just cut it out. It's up to whoever, whatever y'all want to do to have that stay there. It is a possibility you could do that and leave the rest of your crash bar in. I'm still thinking on what I want to do, because it has to go at least this low onto the bumper here. Okay, this is trial and error here. So what I decided to do was cut this part of the crash bar off, leave the crash bar on, and so far I'm seeing that it's possible. As I say, there's no videos, I'm not following anything or asking anybody, I'm just kind of like winging it, as you could see. So as you see how far I could go in now with this, I could even pass the crash bar, you know. So the bumper kind of curves to go this way, if you notice, or if you could remember. So this is as close as I could get to this corner, and enough, you know, room to go as deep as I want in there, if possible. So as you can see from the top, so I could go even lower, higher, and so far so good. I might want to cut a little bit out of this front part here, so that way it wouldn't get in the way in case I want to scoot it over a bit. So if I do, it would, this part right here, this L shape, will fit and bump up to the back here, to this back plate, which would be perfect. So if I go far in, it will just bump up to there and I'll be fine. So let's try that and see what happens. So I'm going to cut a nice, let me see, a rectangular piece out of here. So from here, I'm just going to cut this little piece from here and see how that works. Okay, to avoid rust, I just sprayed a little black paint on there. But as you see, the little shape I cut out here, so it's like a little step, an L shape, 90 degree, however you want to call it. And now I'm going to put the bumper back on, and from the inside I'm going to just take a flathead screwdriver and mark where this is on the bumper. So I'm going to put it as far as I can to the bumper and scratch the bumper so I know where it is. So from the back here, I will see where the scratch is. Would it be here? Would it be here? And I'll know that that's one part of where this is going to be going into. So that's what I want to do. I want to scratch it at some point and figure out if I have a scratch, then I'm going to put this right here with this mark, because that's the mark I'll be scratching out. So right here, the L shape, I'm going to scratch that, and then rest this right here, make sure it fits perfectly, then mark it, and from the back here I'm going to cut it out. Hopefully that makes sense to a lot of people. But just remember, you only have one chance of cutting this bumper. You make any mistakes, pretty much screwed out of a bumper, or would just look tacky and stupid. Like some people put epoxy and what else they put on there, hot glue, and you see it and it does not look that good. So I only have one bumper at the moment. I have work on Monday. This is Saturday afternoon, and I'm trying to do this with one shot. A lot of people out there will criticize me. They will have a lot of negative comments. Thumbs up to you. That's the time you have to sit there and make negative comments instead of helping somebody out, or say you should have done it this way or done it that way. You know, if you have positive comments, put it up there, and guess what? I'll buy another bumper and do it perfectly. I can't buy another crash bar because I already cut this one. So far so good, and I'm going to leave it like that. The crash bar still works perfectly. Just if I get hit in the corner here, is just going to be a little problems. The bumper will just suck in there. And yeah, not like you have much in the corner anyway. See? It's only this part right here that came out. So not much you have, and this kind of like, if you did get hit, this will kind of bend in this way. So it's not much I'm losing. It's not much that was there. So let's continue and see how it goes. I have a tripod. I'm gonna try to put it up and see if you're able to get a good angle of what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. And we're gonna go on from there. If not, sorry for the in and out cuttings. And what was funny about this car, someone had a spare key stuck underneath the car, and I just found it. I had this car for 5 years, and I just found it. So the original key was in this box. So now I have it, and I put the key that I normally start the vehicle with inside here. I don't need a spare key on my vehicle anywhere, so I'm not gonna put that back on there, unless I'm like in Hawaii on the beach and you can't go in the water with, you know, keys. You kind of magnet it somewhere, stick it somewhere on the outside of the vehicle. But yeah, I found it while I was doing all of this stuff here, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. The original key. That's pretty cool. The owner didn't tell me that or anything. So far so good. Let's continue. I maybe said that more than once, but let's go. Okay, with the bumper back on, I didn't have the right angle to show you all. Well, with the bumper on, just as this, with no pins or anything, I just propped everything back up on there, and I went to the bottom of the car. I took the fog light and I pressed it up against the bumper just like this, in the groove right there. In this groove, you know, the piece of it here and the other long part going this way. And I just held it up there, and I used a flathead screwdriver. I don't know if you could see it, and I just, you know, scraped a little mark going this way. Now that I know what the corner is, like this, you know, on a nice flat surface, not like on the edge here, or not like on the edge above here, I try to put it on the flattest surface as possible. And now I'm going to make it straight. So the curve is there, and now it's straight enough to where I believe that Now that I could take a flathead screwdriver and make a mark all the way around. Took the other plate off and I'm down to this one right now. I'm trying to get this inside measurements. So what I did, I put it down just like this. Took a flathead screwdriver and just scraped the inside here. So what I did now, since I got this one at the top here that I went along and scraped, I made a line on the inside of that, because you always want to cut smaller and then go bigger. You cut big and it does not fit, then you're kind of screwed. So I'm going to cut small. So I'm going to cut exactly that and try to force it in and see how far it goes in. And then keep cutting and keep cutting and keep cutting until it goes in nice and square. Then I'll be happy, pop everything back in, run the wire to the front fog light, and when I put the front fog light on, the rear one will turn on as well. That's my plan. Dremel tool, attachments, and got 2 speeds. Okay, cut all the plastic off now. Back to work. And what I want to do is make the contours for these. So just made some slits so they could slide in and then, you know, stop at some point. So I'm gonna try that. But I have to keep measuring until I get the right shape. Goes in like this. And it's way too small, so now I gotta get a little bit bigger. And keep on going from there until I get enough space to go in. So see y'all there. So what I did was try to notch the top here. So that way when the plastic of the bumper goes over, it slips in that little notch. So I kind of shaved the tops, corners, just a little bit, not too much. And as well as these, I just notched them. So it look like this. 2 little notches. And try to put it in. Still got this little gap here I gotta keep pushing in. How's it going? What I'm doing here is just pushing the plastics from the bumper onto these little notches here, or rises.
I'm getting fishing going back outside.
I'm just pushing this down,
What?
and I am trying to fit everything in so it's nice and flush in the front. Getting there, got a little space here. I mean, I'm not worried about it as much, but so far that's what I got. I have yet to try and fit it on there to see if anything is in the way, but let me get this. This is the most important part, because if I damage this, I have no other bumper. If it doesn't fit there, I can cut some more metal off and I'll be fine. So far so good. I just don't like this little gap right here. I can't get it down any more than that. I don't know why. I would leave it like that. So no matter what I do, this cannot just pop out. I didn't use any glue, no screws. There's no notches you could see at top, around, anywhere. It can't fall out, it can't pull out, and everything should fit in there just perfectly. Now let's try it on. The moment of truth. Boom. You see that fitment? Do you see that fitment? Oh my gosh. To be honest with you, I didn't measure anything. When I say anything, I did not measure anything. It's all free cut by my eyes, with my hands, and as you see with a Dremel. And I made it perfectly right in there. Well, let's try the other part. Part that holds the bulb. This part here, with the little notch I made, which I'm not even close to it, but let's try and see. There we go. You can see a little bit on the top here, some little notches that I made. You can see the imprint because it's plastic, and when you push too hard, plastic has a slight bend to it. But everything lined up. All the holes lined up, and all I did was just cut that. The crash bar, that little bit on the end there. Went in the back of there, just draw the line, and go from there. And everything fits just perfectly. And as I say, for maintenance purposes, when you remove the 2 screws, you pull this part out of here, and you should be good to go. There's some plastic pieces on the back here that goes in here. The little holes. I keep breaking them, but screws hold them in. So I don't know why, they will have those there, but I keep breaking them. I break the second one and the first one. But as you can see, they fit perfectly in there. And I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna wire everything up. Run the wire all the way to the front. Or what you could do is run it to the lights here when you just turn the switch to have the parking light on. So you can turn it to the parking lights, and the parking lights will have the fog light on at all times. And I mean, I could do that. Just run the wire up here and just hook it into here. turn the switch, it will come on right away. Let me just think on that and I'll see what I want to do. Okay, so here it is. I got a couple wires hanging there from my LED in the back. The fitment for it, as you can see, you know, it is what it is. It fits. It's not as flush. I could do a little bit pushing after I'm done. What I did, I believe I wired, well, I'll look at it this way. When you have your fog lights on, normally your headlights are on, right? Or your parking lights at least is on. If you're in a fog and you're driving through the fog, you have your parking lights on or your low beam on, which means you always have to turn that switch to the first one or the second one. When you do the second one, or first one, either or, it's going to turn on that low, you know, one of those lights back here. And it will be on while you're driving at nighttime, hard to see places or whatever. So that I hooked up to the fog light. So right here, the black one is the negative and the red one is the positive. Same as the bulb down there. It has two wires, green and black. Obviously green is the positive and black is the negative. So I'm going to turn the switch and let's see. So right now I'm going to turn this once and you'll see the backlight on the cluster come on. So I just do that once, come back here, and voila, it works. So I believe that's the good way to do it. If I want my front fog lights on, all I have to do is press the other switch that I have in here and the front fog light will turn on. So there you go. That's how I hook it up. If you want to, you can run a wire all the way to the front to this switch or to the fog light in the front where you will have that positive wire, and just hook it into the positive wire. The negative you could hook to any part of the body. It would be negative and grounded. And when you press that switch, both front fog lights and back fog lights will turn on. At the moment, I think I'll live with that. And I'm done. Let me put everything back together and I'll show you all that everything works. Well guys, just wanted to let y'all know that I did a couple of wiring, nothing big, nothing that I think I really needed to elaborate and explain and show. Pretty simple. Put two LEDs in there. I took the wires, I cut them from what I had up here, dropped one down, a positive, and ran it all the way up front next to the fuel lines and everything like that. Just tuck it in there. It has a piece of plastic trim. Just tuck it in there and it will hide away perfectly. You will never even know it's there. And the negative, I just screwed, self-tap and screw up to the crash bar and put the negative on that. And it works perfectly, so runs all the way up to the front. I'll show you just now, but I'm gonna put it on. So now it's on. So I wired it up the right way now. But as you can see, the front as well. So once the front light is on, the back lights will be on. What did I do? Okay, I brought it all the way up, and this one right here in the front, I have this one as my fog lights. So I found out which wire goes to the actual fog light. So there's a blue one that comes out of here. It goes all the way down to the fog light. switch. It's right in here. Let me find it just so y'all can see. It's right here. And as you can see, it's blue. So the blue one goes to here, which is the positive, of course. And the black one is negative. Don't really need the negative, but then it splits and goes that way. So pretty much I just spliced it in. It's coming up here with a speaker wire, only because I ran out of the 18 gauge. So I grabbed some speaker wires and brought it up here. And I just vampire clip it to the blue wire that goes down to there. So everything that comes after the fuse and relay is down there. So yes, this fuse right here is for the fog lights as well. So if anything blows, you pop it here, you change the fuse, and you keep on going. If the relay blows, you unhook it right here, put a new one back in, and you're good to go. Unless you destroy the wire or anything. But yeah, so far that's all I've done. It's not a big thing, as it is as simple as I just explained it. I brought my fog lights from all the way underneath here. I don't know how good you can see it. So I'm trying to point it right here with my zip tie. Comes up right here, so it goes down, comes up from right here, goes all through these low wires, comes over on this side, and gets hooked up. That's a little mouthful right there, but that's how I got it done, and I'm happy with it. So hopefully everything works out as good as it should be. Hopefully I don't have no problems. It's just one extra light. It really can handle it. And that's about it. So see y'all soon for the next update and next upgrade. It's just a while, I know. As you can see, I'm busy. I'm still at the shop. It's a Saturday, but you know, I'm about to go home right now. They're over there working. Oh, y'all didn't know where I work, huh? Yeah, that's where I work. There's my bee, my toolbox, a whole nine, whole shebang bang. What's that over there? Y'all see it, huh? Yeah, don't worry about that. But anyway, see y'all soon. Peace.